Hey everyone, it's Joe and
Michael
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. Livestream.
Yeah, you recovered from your day off last week?
Oh, shut up. I tell you what, my ears the entire day, specifically between the hours of 2:30 and 3:30 something, were burning.
Good.
Because I have a feeling you were talking about me.
Mate, we couldn't talk about anything else. It was just Joe.
Yeah, why not? Welcome,
You
everyone.
are that infamous, mate.
Yeah, I know. Everyone just wants to see me in a kookaburra costume.
We better address that fairly early on. I'm still trying to get... It's been a little chaotic.
Look,
I still haven't got the YouTube...
Let me fix it. Let me handle it for you.
Oh, here we go.
I won.
On no level did he win.
Yeah, I didn't win. But can we call it inconclusive?
No.
Okay.
There was no doubt about it. We still haven't, even late entries, if you take in the late entries.
0 late entries.
We still haven't had one
Yeah.
that was taken recently. I mean, people have dragged some up out of Google and off YouTube and all that sort of stuff. But we've not actually had one taken, particularly one with a Bullion Now sign in front of it that's actually legit. There have been several notable mentions.
I've seen 2 of them, and both of them had my face on a kookaburra, and that was really cool. That was forgot. It was STI
That's
Custom did one of them, I think, was it, or someone else did it? I've forgotten. What's going on?
Sorry, I pushed a button and it disappeared. The comments disappeared.
So to those people who painstakingly went to Photoshop and did a whole bunch of photoshopping and put my head on a kookaburra, well done. That was cool.
There was some great ones. There was the one with the wheelie bin with the Bullion Now sign on it.
That was good.
And the kookaburra. I still don't think it was a kookaburra. I think it was a butcher bird. But I may stand corrected on that.
Well, so you're saying you could be incorrect, and that could have been a baby kookaburra in a bowl of water.
It wasn't
technically a bird bowl.
It was not. It was in a dog's bowl with some meat in it.
Help me here, guys. Can you
can
help me,
see
please?
it getting the meat.
Just agree with me.
You are so full of
Who
it.
would you rather see in a kookaburra costume? Me or the boss?
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
So anyway, we need to lead to the conclusion of this. So it was never achieved. Like I said, there were some very notable mentions, and we're going to do a separate video on it when we get half a chance and show that. One of us will appear in a kookaburra suit. Believe it or not, we're actually having trouble sourcing a kookaburra suit. We should have looked for that before we laid the challenge out there.
Yeah, and face paint was kind of a bit difficult.
Yeah, we were going to try the face paint, but lockdown, we're apparently not allowed to have face paint either.
Something will happen, and Michael will embarrass himself incredibly.
Oh, I frequently do that.
happens.
Emma found us a really good costume, but it was a skin-tight look, and I'm not sure anyone wants to see me in a skin-tight look.
Well, this was before we knew who the winner was.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Mr. Ruggedly Short.
And thanks. And also $1,000, thanks, for a kookaburra suit. So
yeah, it wasn't cheap, was it?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so sorry, STI Custom, who starts off with, I'm not watching unless I see someone in a kookaburra outfit. I'm really sorry, mate. We will do something humiliating. I'm not sure what it is yet, but we'll work it out.
No,
if anyone has a kookaburra suit just lying around that would fit one of us and can make it available, we'll give it a crack.
Yeah, start making one now, and we'll do it in the new year. Just kidding. Okay, so as usual, live stream. We've got live call-ins. If you want to call in, we're doing that, I believe, still today.
Yeah, I don't think we worded Sylvia up, but she'll roll with the punches. Hey. She's pretty good.
Hey, Sylvia. Get ready. So if you want to call in, 1300 84 84 10, 1300 84 84 10, and we'll do some live calls, hopefully, and we'll take a bunch of questions. We'll answer yours through the live chat here, maybe a special, I think.
We do have a special later on in the...
Special deal and a special guest as well coming up too. Matt won't be able to pop in, I imagine, today.
Oh, no.
You think he might?
Yeah, no, we'll bring Matt in.
Okay, cool. All right, cool, because Matt's been on the phones just recently.
He has.
Yeah.
So some of you may be aware, some of you won't, that Sam has stepped back from Bullion Now. He's decided to move on. So... yeah, we're really sorry for that. We're sorry we've lost Sam. He was a really integral part of the Bullion Now family, but he's decided to move on, I suspect, although he hasn't said this, I'm making stuff up now, but I suspect he's moving to warmer climes.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So, but good on him. So we
Yeah.
absolutely wish him the very best, and he will be sorely missed here. And poor old Matt's scrambling and covering Sam's desk, if you like.
Doing
So
a stellar job, though.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So if you phone in, you'll hear Matt's dulcet tones on the phone, and he will be able to help you in every way that Bullion Now tries to.
Cool. What are these?
Well, these relate to our special guest that we're getting in later on.
All right, enough said. Cool.
So it's stand by for that one. It's going to be fun.
All right. Let's do a couple of email questions, unless there's something else you need to talk about.
Heaps of things we want to talk about. We could get into some. Actually, why don't we launch off with a couple of comments off there first?
Oh, okay, sure, absolutely. Wombat, if I cash in my bullion at a bank, will they only pay me for the face value? Yes.
In Australia?
In Australia, yes.
Yes.
What? Oh, in Australia.
Yeah, no, other
Oh,
places.
you can't take it.
Well, no, a lot of some of the other countries, the banks actually deal in bullion.
Oh, okay, sure.
So they are quite likely Singapore, Germany, I believe.
Gotcha.
So there's a few places around the world where you can actually cash in. China, you can cash in at the bank.
Close to market rate.
So,
or whatever.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, but in Australia, no, you're only going to get face value
You get
unless
$1,
you have
yeah.
a very, very clued-in teller.
Yeah, and even then, it's going to be a real trouble. Like, what is this? Can I have $1 for that, please? No.
Yeah.
Like, you would have to go to the manager. The manager would probably have to call someone, and then there'd be a lot of time spent, and you wouldn't do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it anyway.
Let's see. Can't wait to see Joe with Kookaburra costume. Yeah, sure. Thanks, guys.
Everyone wants to see you in the Kookaburra costume,
yeah,
mate.
STI Custom said yes, that was me for one of those Joe heads on the Kookaburra.
Yeah.
Very good stuff, I gotta say. Let's see.
There's a suggestion here to find the Sydney 2000 Olympics Kookaburra costume and wear that.
But it wasn't a Kookaburra. Oh, hang on, the Olympics. No, I'm thinking of the
They
Commonwealth
had the
Games.
3 mascots, didn't they?
Yeah,
Wasn't it one of those?
yeah, 3 mascots.
Yeah, and one of them was a Kookaburra. I
Yeah,
think.
no, I was thinking the Commonwealth Games where they had Karak, the red-tailed, I think, black cockatoo.
Okay, that was
So.
very specific.
Well, they're native to
there.
where I come
That's true,
from,
that's true,
so.
that's true. Well, maybe it's sitting in a museum somewhere. We'll
Nick it.
We need a heist.
we'll don the skin tights
Yeah.
and steal a skin tight and then wear it on the thing.
Somebody
let's
break into the
see.
museum and dick the Kookaburra outfit.
Yeah, that's right. Does anybody know how to go about reimbursement for GST on a bullion import? Eee.
It's hard work, is the short answer.
That's from Scott Burke, by the way.
Yeah, it's really hard work. You download a form if you can find it off. It used to be off the customs website, which is called Border Force, Australian Border Force. There's a form on there that you can fill in to claim it back, or there used to be. I haven't checked it for ages. And you fill in the form. It's a big pain in the backside. I am sure, and no offence to any government workers out there, I'm sure they've done it purely so people don't claim it back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an awkward one, that one.
Yep, pretty much. Aussie Kelpie is asking, what about the silver cook? Oh, he's already silver Kookaburra mascot from the Sydney Olympics. Yep. Okay, that's the one that you repeated just before.
Hey, I like that one back
Which
up
one?
there.
Which
They
one?
want you to wear a mankini, mate.
Oh, I'll go Borat. That's fine. No worries.
Actually, we should have Bullion Now branded mankinis, and we'll start using them.
We've got pens. We've got some baggies. Can we get some other stuff in first before?
Before the mankini?
that? Yeah.
People are asking for merch.
That's true.
The Bullion Now mankini.
That's true. Okay, sure.
Comment if you think that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Let's see now. God's Money is asking, how do gold and silver price affect if value, or I think it's saying, what does the gold and silver price do if AUD value increases against USD? I think we answered that.
Yeah, this one
couple
bends
of
my
weeks ago, I
brain
think,
every
yeah.
time. So yeah, it does, because all precious metals, in fact most commodities, are based in US dollars, and then it's converted into local currency wherever you are. So if the pricing goes up in US dollars, but the Australian dollar goes, oh good grief, it goes down. No, it goes up as well. No, it's too late on a Friday. I'm struggling with this one. When
So if US spot goes down
US spot goes down,
and the AUD USD goes up, now it's too late for me as well.
that's going to drive the price down further in Australian dollars
I think that's true.
because you're getting more bang for your buck.
No, that's true because when the Aussie US dollar falls,
Yeah.
we're strengthening.
Yeah,
So when the Aussie US dollar goes up, we're weakening. Down, we're strengthening.
yeah.
That's the way it works.
Okay,
If you understood that.
I have to butt in. Sorry, this
What?
comment just came in from the Midnight Gardener.
Yes.
No judgment, please. But I can lend you my lime green mankini as long as there are no questions asked.
Wow, my goodness me.
Lime green
lime
sets
green.
off your eyes, mate. It
Yeah, that's
really
right.
does.
Absolutely, thank you.
So yeah, I reckon we should take him up on
All
that,
right,
mate.
sounds great. Yeah, I'll do that in private. And speaking of the Midnight Gardener, he's just said here, if I saw someone having trouble getting $1 face value at the bank, and I was in line, I would give them at least double of that.
You're incredibly generous,
I would
mate.
do that too. Yeah.
Your generosity
$1
is
is
just.
terrible. I'll give you $3. I'll go higher than Midnight Gardener. I'd offer $3.
Well, see, now you're just trying to be competitive.
Yeah,
There's a few people asking about the Golden Eagle Nugget 2 ounce that Perth released yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't got an official answer back. Yes, they released it yesterday. As far as we're aware, it's a private mintage. I can't find out whose private mintage it is. I don't know what's going on at Perth Mint yesterday. They didn't seem to know much detail on it. And they can't tell me if we can source it or not. So we've still got the question out there. As far as I'm aware, it hasn't been answered. And if any of the little coin shop people are actually watching this and they've had the email and I'm not aware of it, they can put it through on the comments and we'll pick it up from there. But stand by. We will have news for you, hopefully before Monday, and we'll put it out there and let you know.
fair enough. Shall we?
From Brett, the Seymour Panther. And this is, I'm actually going to combine two.
We just had a comment in chat about that one, asking what our thoughts on it. So nice
Yeah.
timing.
All right.
Well, it sounds like we're tying a 3 or 4 comments together. So one is Brett's asking what we think, if we're going to get in the Seymour Panther in stock. And Bruce is asking what we think of the Tudor Beast coin, not including the weight in ounces, metal type and purity on the face of the coin. So 2 questions there. Yes, we're trying to get the Panther in as we speak. The other one is causing a little bit of debate around the office this afternoon. It doesn't have the weight on it. That's not unheard of. The Sovereign doesn't have the weight or purity on it. In the UK, that doesn't matter. In Australia, it does, because if we don't have the weight and purity stamped on it, generally it's accepted that you're going to incur GST. However, one of the guys here and I had a bit of a animated discussion about the interpretation of the ruling and the fact that there's been a private ruling on this. So if there's a mark on there, like the Panda, it doesn't have the purity on there either, but the mark of the, oh man, I can't remember the name of it now, but the Panda has a mark on it, and that mark is recognised worldwide as a purity and weight for the Panda.
Oh.
So the argument in the private ruling is that that is enough to carry it over the line.
Okay.
We've still got a question mark over the over this. I hadn't particularly noticed. I haven't done a lot of research, but we're going to have to before we bring it in.
I have some input there because I'm just be curious, because we had up on our website, the customer brought this to my attention. We had the Queen's Beast up there, and if you actually look at our photo for it, it doesn't have the weight and purity either.
Yeah.
But once actually looking on the Queen's Beast, it does in person have it. So is it a case of maybe just the photos they've released don't, but it does in person?
No, it doesn't, because at this stage, and I haven't seen it in real life, but the information I've got through from the Royal Mint gives all the inscriptions both on the front and the back, and also the sides. It's inscribed all around the rim. And none of it actually refers to a weight or a purity. So I can't give you a clear answer on that. I assume it's still going to be considered, obviously the proofs aren't, but the bullion coin, at this stage I would assume that it will be GST exempt. But we don't know at this stage. Stand by for further information on that. And what do I think of the fact they haven't put it on there? I think it's terrible, because it's causing me all sorts of heartburn now. So I'd really wish they would, but obviously in the UK it doesn't matter over there.
Fair enough. Twice Shy is asking, think they'll make 15,000 of them?
I think they'll carry very similar numbers to what they did with the Queen's Beasts.
Okay,
And I can't remember what their mintage numbers actually were off the top of my head.
fair enough. We've got someone saying, Wade Peterson is saying the Scorpion that we released day before yesterday, I think it was, sold out very, very quickly.
I actually thought it sold out fairly slowly for what I
Really?
expected. I thought
Okay.
it'd be gone, one of those ones that'd be gone in half an hour.
And did we put up all of our allocation, or we have a little?
I really hate it when you ask me that question because it's now we're going to get 14,000 phone calls.
All you had to say was, yeah, no, that was it.
No, there's a couple. We always keep a few up our sleeve.
Oh, yeah, but that's for mistake. That's for,
We don't make mistakes.
we never make mistakes, but on the odd hand that someone else, a third party, makes a mistake, and we
get a scratched coin,
and we go, we'll handle the problem for them.
Yeah.
Then we have a couple, but
Yeah.
we're not talking hundreds. We're not talking multiples of tens.
If you're desperately desperate for one, maybe make a call, but I can't guarantee any more over that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, they actually sold.
Screaming from you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they sold out a bit slower than I expected, but they were a $16 premium, I think. Was it 16 over
It
spot?
was 16, yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty hefty premium on them for,
Yep.
for a bullion coin. I think
Yep.
it's worth it,
Yep.
but it was still a hefty
Oh.
premium.
This is the best question I've seen all live stream so far. Silver Arc. If you could only choose one, a Zinger box, a Big Mac meal, or a Whopper meal, what would you choose?
Oh, you've hit the three that are my weaknesses.
I can tell you mine.
Yeah, well, go for it.
No, this is if I'm having a bad day, I don't, Zinger box, I refuse KFC. I've never had good KFC ever, including the chips, and Red Rooster chips are the best chips in all of the thing. If you want to argue about that, do, but you'll lose. I like a good Whopper meal because you get the one
That
comes-
wasn't what I expected from you.
No, the Whopper meal's all right because they're good burgers.
They are
and
good burgers.
We're not sponsored. And you get the one, we used to come with the little mini cornetto, and that one was like $5. It was so cheap as well, and it just filled you up. And it was stodgy and great.
I used to like it because you could refill your cup there, but they've stopped doing that now. So.
You just went in too many times.
Oh, mate. Why
Let's
do
see.
we get these questions?
I don't know, because we talk so much bullion and all that. It's good to get
Something different out there.
a little look into our personal lives.
Having
Michael.
said that, I hope my wife's not watching this because yesterday I had a bit of a downer. So one of those days where you go, blow it all.
Your wife is watching. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Because I got a Zinger bacon box, yes,
Okay.
or burger or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I was enabled by one of our workers.
Okay. We're getting asked about any news on the 5-ounce ox mintage.
No, and I don't expect to get any firm numbers on that until late, like Christmas or more likely in the new year.
And what about-
when they rule it off finally?
What about the 2021 10-ounce cook that we did?
Same deal.
Okay.
Same
Not
deal
sure.
with that.
All right.
I can give you what I think is an estimate, but I can't give you firm numbers.
What do you
yet.
think is an estimate?
I think both of them. I think you're going to see somewhere around about the 2,500. And I have no authority on this. Okay, I could be completely wrong, but the Kookaburra I suspect is somewhere around about that 2,500. And I reckon the ox will be less than 5,000.
Calypso Moon says, Michael, I got a photo of a kookaburra having a bath, not in a bird bath. Does that count?
No.
So it's like bathing in a puddle or a lake or a
bucket.
or a swimming pool or something?
No, it's kind of like it's the bird bath that I have the issue with. I've seen kookaburras, taking dips, so I've got no problem with the fact they do that. I've just never seen one. And we have king parrots and rosellas and all that around our place, and they spend hours on bird baths, and a lot of the finches and that. But it's incredibly rare.
Your wife is watching.
Oh, bother! Love you.
All right, what else we got here?
Hey, alrighty. So from Adam, just a quick question about platinum coins. Do you know why platinum coins are so much more rare compared to all the different silver coins? I really like platinum, but I rather stack something other than the usual Britannia, Philly, blah blah blah. You want to comment on that?
I was watching, but then it glazed over because
All right.
I was literally thinking about a Whopper meal with a little cornetto.
So the platinum coins, platinum's a quite difficult metal to work with. You have to mix it with cobalt. Look, some of the jewelers will tell you. It's quite a difficult metal to work with, so a lot of the refineries aren't set up for it. A lot of the manufacturers aren't set up for it. So you'll find that everything gets referred back to one or two main manufacturers. The premiums on there are huge because of the difficulty with finding it, refining it, and then making it into whatever product you want. So there's a real it's a niche market and a real reluctance to work in that market. So you're not going to get a lot of variety. I was stoked when the Royal Mint said they were going to do the Queen's Beasts in there. I'm hoping they're going to do the Tudor Beasts in it as well. But yeah, it's really hard to find variety in the Platinum. It also doesn't have a huge following yet. Like I said, it's more niche. So because of that, it's all right to pay the extra to generate the dies and all that for silver or for gold, because you know you can churn a whole stack of them out. When you know that you've only got a very small market, it takes a lot to commit to creating the dies and the machinery and all that sort of stuff to work with the Platinum taking that big risk. So again, it limits the pool and the selection. But we're seeing a change. Platinum is becoming more accepted as a collector coin. So I believe that in the future we're going to see more and more, which leads to two things. One, A, you're going to get more choice, but B, I think it will make the older style coins more desirable and then increase in collectability over time. But we're not talking 2 years, we're talking 5 to 10 years down the track.
We've got Gillan McGillface. Has there ever been, that's a good question, has there ever been any kookaburra coins where the kookaburra has a snake or a lizard or a frog or something in its beak? I've tried Googling but have not found any. I think that would be a good design. I agree it'd be a good design. I can't remember one.
They did the wedge tail with the snake.
No, this 2021's wedge tail's got a snake, but even that's not in its mouth, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, it's in its talons.
Well, I don't think it's even in its talons. It looks like it's just in front of it from memory.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
We've got manor workforce. Is it mandatory for countries that have the Queen as head of state to have her effigy on the obverse? So if it's a Commonwealth nation, does the Queen have to be on one side?
For it to be a coin, I believe it does.
For it to be legal tender, I'd imagine so. Yeah.
That's more a Matt question, and we might ask him when he drops by later. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, absolutely.
Yeah, because sovereign and all that sort of stuff, I imagine. Yeah. Fair
Having
enough.
said that, we still have some coins that don't have the Queen's face on them, i.e. the old sovereigns, the old shield sovereigns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which are legal tender here still.
Right.
I don't know if you can include not the colonial coins. What do we call it? You know, the first coins that we nicked off the boats and turned them into Australian coins. The colonial coins. You can't count the holy dollar and dump either, because that's no longer the one currency that's no longer currency, legal tender. So yeah, generally yes, but there are some very few exceptions out there.
Philip is asking, paying such a big premium for platinum, do you pay more than spot price if selling back to us?
We don't.
Nope. But us paying spot for platinum and for gold and for silver is still, as far as we're aware, better than any other bullion dealer in Australia, as far as we're aware.
Look, we always say, and I always add the prefix to this of I'm shooting myself in the foot, you are always better off selling into the secondary market if you're able to. You will almost always get more for it than if you sell it to a bullion dealer, because we need to buy it at wholesale rather than at retail, because we're looking to make a profit. You know, we want to cover wages, power, rent, make a profit at the end of the day. So part of that profit is buying it off people that want to sell back to us slightly cheaper, so we can sell it for an amount at the other end. Being second hand, sometimes that means we have to sell it for less than a brand new price. Sometimes it means we can sell it for more.
And you come to us to sell back at spot because it's quick. It's quicker usually than going through the eBays or the forums and all that, and meeting up and all that stuff. And
it's safer.
We can handle a larger volume as well, and it's safer and all that. So there's trade-offs.
There is. It would be a rare week that goes by where I don't hear of a dodgy deal done down the back alley or the back of a McDonald's or somewhere like that.
Absolutely.
And someone is relieved of either their fiat or their precious metal or both.
Monotremata reckons the 1993 Cook has a lizard, quite possibly. So we might check that one.
Pulled it up as well.
Oh, right.
It is the 1993 Cook.
1993 Cook has a lizard in its mouth or something like that. There you go. There's your answer.
One thing about the internet, you will always stay corrected.
Yes.
It keeps you very humble.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Any more of yours?
Absolutely. This one's from Aussie. Hope you don't mind this question. Was just wondering what proportion of international customers versus domestic. More especially, do you have many customers from Japan? because Jamie lives in Japan.
Ah,
We do have a few customers from Japan. I wouldn't say it's a large proportion. As far as domestic versus international sales go,
percentage maybe 5.
no, I think it'd be
5 or
higher
10?
than that. Yeah, probably somewhere in that 5 to 10 range. You're probably right. I'm probably exaggerating. It is an area that we'd like to push further into, but we have to sort out the freight issue at the end of the day.
And payments as well. a
Yeah,
little bit.
payments
We'd like to make payments a bit easier. They certainly can pay via PayPal, and that's your 3.5%.
We are moving towards a crypto payment, which will thrill him no end, which will make the internationals better. The other problem...
Okay, when that happens, that's when I'll don the mankini. How does that sound?
So next week, Rubes.
Damn it.
The other problem we do have with the international is obviously local customs, as in not in, customs things you do, customs as in, import duties and that sort of stuff, because we can't keep control of or even track of, is this country going to charge their version of GST or an import duty? Is this country what
hoops
amount?
You need to jump through in terms of the stuff you put on there, what you write. It's from Australia. It's this. It's all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like particularly to New Zealand, if we're singling out a country, that's
New Zealand and the UK are two dynamites for us.
it's difficult.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
So we're actually looking at ways to get around that. Not get around that. Sounds like I'm trying to dodge the tax here.
No.
Ways to work within that. So setting up even a Bullion Now store in other countries or affiliates and things like that. We can start to work with the tax laws by doing that.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I've really been considering moving to the Seychelles. So that's good to know.
If we get a large customer base there, mate, no worries.
All right, I'll take New Zealand then. All right, no problem. Cool. Let's see. What else do we have? Wombat is asking, any Wombat coins coming out? Wonder why. When was the last Wombat?
No, the Wombat coin. Yeah, we didn't really get much of a look. We did get some.
Yeah.
But we didn't get a large amount of Wombats.
It was this year, wasn't it?
It was this year. Yeah, this year's Wombat. It was a private mintage, that one, done by the Perth Mint. I don't know if they're planning on repeating it. I would suggest they will next year, because it was wildly popular.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Kane Friday saying Bitcoin jumps around too much. Bugger that.
But Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency out there.
And the way it would work, I imagine, is we're not taking the actual Bitcoin. It's going to be a third-party intermediary, and we're actually taking the fiat currency ourselves. So,
I did an experimental transaction this week with Bitcoin.
Did you now?
Yes, inbound to us.
We
took payment in Bitcoin.
Fantastic.
So, I mean,
how long did it take?
I was going to say I fudged the books. I sound like I'm dodging tax all over the place at the moment.
It was a trial between the owner of the company and the owner of the company.
No, it wasn't. It was with a customer.
Oh, okay.
But
really?
yeah, it was a trial run.
Okay.
Just to see where the kinks were.
Oh, wow. Did it work out?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Did it take it 3 hours or?
No, it was pretty much instantaneous.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it went well. It encouraged me to keep exploring it further and further.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
yeah.
It's taken. How long have we been in business now? How long did I
he's
join?
just going to gloat for
I
hours
joined,
now.
I think I joined maybe 2 or 3 months after the official signing of the thing. And
within 6 anyway.
And within day one, I was saying, hey, what about,
that's right.
what about the old crypto?
We will get there.
It's taken a long time for you to even double yourself.
Yeah, well, these things take time, don't
They
they?
do. Let's see, what else? Melbourne Stacker, it was a fair point. Melbourne Stacker saying, as a business, I wouldn't get involved in receiving crypto as payments in Australia, but yeah, receiving it overseas would be a good idea.
Yeah.
You can certainly do it within Australia. It's all above board and,
Look,
all that stuff.
However you want to dice this, crypto in some form.
It's here.
It's here, and it's going to be part of the payment future. Whether that's a centralised crypto, a decentralised crypto, all those sorts of
the lingo.
all those sorts of things, they will become part of our payment gateways moving forward. It's I'm old enough to remember the resistance of FPOS cards and all that sort of stuff, and we're seeing similar resistance with cryptocurrencies. But I believe in 10, 15 years' time, these conversations will be pretty much mute, because it will be in some form part of our part of our vernacular and our everyday usage.
Agreed.
So this one's from DC Neaty. Hi, Michael and Joe. Just wondering, what coins do you both collect for your kids? Do they have favourite, or do they roll their eyes when you buy them another coin? I hear a lot of people starting out because their parents got them into it. Mine don't really appreciate them. They only like Darth Vader. They have great taste and great potential if they like Star Wars. Do you buy what they like, or just one per child of everything?
My kids are a little bit too young, too far, although so far. But I've got my 3-year-old. He just sort of, every now and then I'm in the kitchen or something and I hear a little ching, ching, ching. I'm like, you're in my collection. And so he's like literally tipping out a tube of stuff. I'm like, I need this. And he goes,
tiles.
Money. Right? Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
So we're at that stage. So, but I think I'm going to start. I want to backtrack and get something from 2018 and something from 2021 from this year. To commemorate their birth year. So I need to find like a year of the dog, something. I want to find. I've got to buy a.
We can get you a kilo gold year of the dog. I think I've got one of those.
Kilo gold year. Nice. Let me just pull that out. There's my fiat currency right there. If anyone's got a dog of some kind, a year of the dog, whether it's a silver or
I've got a border collie
or a platinum or yeah. Let me know.
You can have her.
Let me know. I'd be interested. But what about yourself?
Look, my kids are into it to a degree. I wouldn't say they're heavily into it. I cautiously encourage it. I have brought them things back from overseas or from trips away, or even auctions if I think they're particularly into something. I try and tie it into some of their interests. I've got a son who's mad keen on silverback gorillas. Everything's about silverback gorillas.
Cool.
So when I was in Germany, one of the mints, I can't remember which one now, I think it was the South African mint, they had a silverback gorilla silver coin. So I bought a couple of those and brought them back for him. So
cool.
Trying to tick both boxes. So I know you're going to like this because you're interested in the theme of it, but also don't forget it's money, and it's an investment, and it's an asset. The other thing I would strongly encourage you to do, and we did it this week, and if my kids are watching, they'll be giggling in the background. But I introduced them to a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and I cannot overemphasize or over-encourage people, no matter what your age is, to read that book. It's really, really simple to read. It's not a thick book, but it will make you understand. It will help you understand money and currency and investment and just life skills for it. So grab a copy of it, grab your kids a copy of it. I give away many copies of it. I just had to order in another 20 of them recently.
Oh my goodness, cool.
Because it's a great book and a great place to start
Now
off.
I know what we're all getting for staff Christmas.
I think most of, if not all the staff, have already got a copy, and if they haven't,
okay.
Have you got your copy?
No, I don't.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what I have
awkward.
one. You
You had one.
You gave one to my mother.
I'm pretty sure I gave one to you.
Basically,
but-
what you're saying is employees get treated better than contractors.
Listen
Is that
to
what you're
it.
saying?
Benefits.
Benefits,
Mate,
yeah.
the contract wage I pay you, you can afford to buy your own copy.
Yeah, that's true. Cool, fair enough. Hey, we're past the halfway point. We're not going to keep this going as long as we normally would because there's some other stuff we're going to do around the 4 o'clock-ish, kind of 4:15. But I think we're going to get in a guest.
I think that's an excellent
That's a great idea. And this guest is literally the creator of these. His name is Adrian. You may have seen him on the channel before. We did a little bit of a short interview with him. I think it was last year or early last year, something like that. And he is, I would call him the world's foremost silver sculptor, in my humble opinion. Yeah. He takes ordinary everyday items. This is a toast. You've got a lamb cutlet.
How do you know it's toasted?
You've got bread. This guy. Can't you? How do you know there's no butter on it? That's Vegemite.
Oh, you can see there's no butter on it.
Oh, of course you can. Yeah. And stuff like this is the small stuff, and we're talking. Well, a couple of weeks ago we had that big silver statue, and that's created by Adrian. So me and Adrian are going to do a quick swap, and Adrian's going to come on and have a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
There you go.
So some of the centerpieces we've shown over the last few weeks have been Adrian's creations. So we had the boot. That was one of Adrian's Did you do the boot, mate?
I did the boot.
Yep, the boot. What was the other one that we had on here? The other big one. Oh, was it David with the earphones? No, it's not David. It is David with the earphones, is it?
Statue of David Michelangelo.
Yeah, there you go. So those sorts of things. These are pure silver, most of them, and they take 20 plus kilos of silver in them. So they are massive setups and incredible productions. So we're incredibly privileged to have Adrian here, and they're just micing him up. So I'm filling in the gaps. While I'm filling in the gaps, I might do a email. So this one's from Bruce again. This is a photo for Joe. I don't think it's going to come up clear enough. So just for fun, photo taken from YouTube, Kookaburra on the bath. Hard to get the autofocus to work in the background. Yeah, I can't show this one up. So we got it, Bruce. I will make sure that that Joe sees it, but he's taken a photo off his screen and got a Bullion Now card in there as well. So he ticked both boxes, which was good to see. Any comments that you think I should pick up on there?
There you go.
Right. Rubes?
A few people agreeing with you with your book choices, and yes, agreeing with the sentiment there.
There's one going past agreeing that Joe should be in a mankini.
G'day, mate.
So,
How are you?
Good yourself,
Thought
mate?
I'd drop in.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
You've been hiding for a while. Where you been?
Well, everyone's been hiding at home
That's
apparently, so there you go.
Funny thing
That's
called
apparently what we're
lockdown.
supposed to do, so that's good. But look, I have created something a bit special for you guys.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, YouTube Awards, you need 100,000 subscribers.
I believe
I
that's
think it
correct.
is that. And you have nowhere near that. But
Thanks for rubbing that in, mate.
But all that aside, that doesn't mean you shouldn't get an award because you've been doing so well here. So me and the crew got together and cast, I'll tell you what, it's not light. The world's only bronze
Oh, look at that.
YouTube award.
What a fella.
And this one is way more valuable, I have to say, because it's
Did
one
you
of a
cast
kind.
it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Actually, I made it out of wax first.
mate,
which
that's
is
fantastic.
Yeah, basically the process I use for all my artworks. But there it is, guys. These congratulations, mate.
Thank you, mate.
And yeah, I know.
I feel honoured.
It's not light. I'll tell
Oh,
you
did
that
you
much.
want to take it closer?
Yep.
You're going to have to take it off me because I'm going to drop it in a second.
Everyone check. Oh, thank you so much, Adrian.
That's excellent.
That is
I love it.
amazing.
At great expense to the management, they swung in to make a significant
That is
one of a kind.
One of a kind. There you go. YouTube, there you go.
And you're actually quite, to hold it like that, you're actually quite strong.
It's
So there you go.
actually
You're
quite
obviously working
strong.
quite hard. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, let's.
So yeah.
I'd say we'll hang it up, but I think that'd be a bit dangerous. So we're going to have to find something else to do with it. But we'll absolutely display that in the shop after lockdown.
And if anyone comes in here that looks a bit suspicious, you can always.
Yeah,
Mind
that's
you,
right.
you guys got plenty of things to throw around here, that's for sure.
All right. Enough of that. Tell us about yourself, mate.
Well, basically, me and some interested parties swung into casting the largest silver bullion pieces in the world. Now, it's interesting because you were talking about the jewellers before, and you know, they've never been able to really pioneer anything past a kilo. So, could it be done? I had a bit of bullion myself, and I decided, you know, why not? I'm a sculptor. I'll swing in there. There must be a way. Very expensive, a lot of trial and error. I finally come up with a process. So the pieces I'm doing are the largest pieces in the world, and so no one's sort of doing that for some reason.
Because it's
Could
too
be a
hard.
good reason, and it's very expensive initially. But what's interesting about silver is that even though the sculpture's, you know, got a lot of silver actually present in it, you're not losing any sort of money on that by having that silver there. It still represents an investment. And also you've got the investment of the artwork, which has the potential to go up as well. So, and also, quite frankly, silver and gold, the most beautiful materials an artist could ever use. I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And people have been using it for, you know, thousands of years because it's such a wonderful material, really.
How did you get into art initially, or into sculpting initially? Go
I
right
don't
back.
know. Yeah, well, I was always interested in making things. So, yeah, that's basically, I think, there's this sort of conversation. Is it a talent? Is it an interest? I think I was always interested in making things, and I just pursued it. And, when I went to art school, I was just happy that they were paying me to rock up. And I could do exactly what I loved every day. So I was thinking, I'll see if I can keep this going my whole life. And, really I've done all right as a professional artist. But, the investment into this silver and gold casting, I don't think it has reached its full potential just yet. And I think as inflation rises and people become more focused on economic ideas in a general sense, I think silver and gold will have a huge future. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's my personal
and it's a great
belief
way.
there.
It's a great way to store your wealth,
Yeah,
but it's also a great way to display your wealth
this is
without
it. Yeah,
without like you can have it on display without having lumps of gold bars sitting on the mantelpiece or something like that. You can actually have something that's bringing pleasure and beauty to your surrounds.
it's interesting in the Renaissance. What really powered the Renaissance was wealthy people showing off to each other. And, come over and see my latest Michelangelo. And they're like, oh, geez, he's doing all right. You know what I mean? But do you have a Lipchitz? And, which is a bit of a crazy name, but it's the Renaissance. And, oh, no, I don't. And who's this guy? And so this sort of powered this competition in art, which was, really the greatest time in art history. Certainly what I think. So if that can be done in gold and silver, I think, it'd be an interesting material for artists to get into once it's established. And I think, I'm the pioneer on that whole establishment process. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
So what's the largest piece you've created in precious metals?
Well, I think you saw the boot. You've shown it here on the channel. It's huge. When I was working on it in my studio, I was getting ripped, trying to polish this thing and grinding it. Like, oh, this boot's incredible. But that's 25 kilos.
Yeah.
So that's getting up there. And, really what I'm wanting to do is to do, major large pieces. Because
So you want to go bigger than 25 kilos?
Absolutely, yeah.
You're mad.
No, I want something where, you walk in and your whole vista is really taken up by that magnificent material of silver.
Have you got a piece in mind that you'd like to do that big?
Always, mate. Always got a piece ready to go. A couple of years ago, I had a bank that was looking at me, interested in doing a large piece for their centenary of the bank.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was a very large piece. They were looking at up to 10 tons of silver. So
Oh, wow.
sadly, it didn't pan out. But I did do the whole brief for that, and it worked out.
Can we ask
how
what
it could
was
be done.
going to be?
Well, this is the big reveal, but it was a seed shape, and what I was looking at casting was actually doing a pressed metal mould, and it was basically just going to be poured in at the Perth Mint,
Oh, wow.
because they have a 1 ton pour there, which is great. Oh, here we go.
Ah, the boot.
Thanks for giving me the boot, mate. No, that's great. Yeah, this is.
Can we see it on their rooms?
I'll just hold it up there. Jeez, it takes me back to when I was in the studio. One of my favourite parts of it is actually the underside, which I think just had the great expression, because this is not a new boot.
No, that's right.
This is a tired old boot. It's completely worn out, and nothing makes me more excited than turning absolute rubbish into the most precious commodity on the planet. And I just enjoy that. I think it's a great irony there, and I think it's a visual pun. But it also, for a moment you can escape the value system, because if it's a piece of rubbish turned into gold and silver, you start to say, oh, what's the value of anything? So yeah, I think there's an interesting conversation there.
Well, you've made statements with each of these. I'm not so sure about, is this bread or toast? We just had a discussion about that. We can't remember.
It's funny you should mention that, because
Neither.
I tried to get a fresh piece of bread, but it was quite difficult. So I ended up getting a fresh piece and spraying it with like epoxy resin
Oh,
to
okay.
try and get it to that sort of, but it does look a little bit like toast.
Yeah.
So it's up for grabs on that one.
The other ones, they're kind of, I don't know about the bread because I've never actually asked you, but the other ones are actually statements in and of themselves, aren't they? You're actually trying to convey a message with them.
Absolutely. I mean, this one was one of the first pieces that I cast, and I was trying to get exactly a pound. So it was like a pound of flesh. And I just thought the relationship between the real world of commodities is just an interesting sort of dynamic. And, there was a few other things I was thinking about with that. But this particular piece here, with my father, I grew up down the beach, and we had a holiday house down in Bulgaria, and just the wonders of the ocean just captivated me. So, getting into doing all the gold and really refining the detail, it was into a sort of a ocean aesthetic. I thought was quite an interesting thing to do. It's quite accurate, but it's interesting because the oyster itself is a very transitory thing. I mean, basically, it's good this afternoon, and then by later on today, if it's sitting out in the sun, it's
horrible.
Yeah. So the value is very temporal with that, and also it's a wonderful commodity actually, oysters.
So if you can't, Rubes, I might get you to hold that up to the camera. So that one particularly, the detail on the back of the shell, I think, is always what grabs me. It's actually the back. But if you look at the inside of it there, you can see it's a silver cast with a gold section in it. I don't know enough about oysters to know what each section's called.
Yeah. The shell and the I don't know what it's called. The actual oyster proper. Yeah.
Yeah. So the meat in it or whatever you call it, you've actually done in gold. So that's not just a gold coating either. That's pure gold, isn't it?
No, there's 3.5 grams of gold there.
3.5 grams or more.
Yeah. Could be more.
I would have guessed it was more.
Actually,
than
was
that,
it? I don't know. I've forgotten.
Ounces or grams?
Yeah, I would
Probably ounces.
I would have said it
actually.
was more
I
ounces.
can't remember
Yeah.
It was a while ago now, but
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. And then this one cracked me up when you did it for a couple of reasons when you showed us this one. So, Rubes, if you can come in a bit on that one. So tell us a bit about it, and then I'm going to ask the question because I don't think you'll cover it, but go for it.
well, it's a little obscure, but one of the chemicals I use when I'm creating artworks is polyester resin, and also it's used for cutlery in McDonald's, and it's extremely toxic. In fact, polyester will probably last longer than anything else we've got on the planet, produced by humans. It's non-biodegradable, so it's a huge achievement by mankind. But
Plus or a minus.
at the end of the day, it works its way to the bottom of the ocean, about 30 centimetres off the floor, and sits there for eternity, in theory, until the Earth is evaporated by the sun. But I just was wondering, what about the fish that are living down there, trying to create a living in that sort of toxic soup? So, I thought it interesting to combine the food concept and this sort of idea that I was thinking about with polyester.
This is actually one of my favourite pieces that you've done.
Oh, really?
Believe it. Yeah, I love this piece. But one of the I love the story behind it. And you've told me that story before, and I love that story behind it. But the one that makes me smile most is the name you've got on it.
McDonald's.
You've actually put McDonald's on there because when I first asked you about that, I was actually quite worried about it because obviously McDonald's is a trademark and all that sort of stuff. But
yes, with artwork, you're free to go, and also obviously with the boot with Michael Jordan and stuff like that. But obviously, if I was starting up production, it could be up for question. But if it's still an artwork, that could be an interesting dynamic
but
as well.
you're having a dig. And it makes me smile. Every time I see this piece, it makes me smile because of what you've done with it. So
I feel like in some way we're sort of fusing with these corporations too, So yeah.
All right. So what's a piece like this worth?
I haven't valued it, so you'll have to contact me. But
so I don't know how many.
They're one of a kind, but most of these pieces I'm doing in series at the moment.
Okay.
So people can come to my website, have a good look, and certainly contact me for prices and stuff like that. But
Put a link to that there, by the way. So.
yes,
The website?
Thank you very
Excellent.
much, sir.
Well, you better give it to us. So if people want more information on this or they're interested in going down these paths,
Absolutely.
how can they contact you? What's the best way to get hold of you?
My website has everything there. Just before so the COVID thing hit, we did a documentary and it covered everything that I was doing and also all my private life, which
That's what you want on camera, isn't it?
which for better or for worse is all there for everyone's entertainment. But yeah, it was an interesting experience doing that and it was quite the interrogation. But anyway, I think it's a good documentary about
So, and there's a
what I'm
link for
doing.
that on your website?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I have to say, look, it's great seeing this piece. I haven't seen it for years, and it's such an interesting piece because it's come out really like toast. There's a fire scale that happens when you cast things. I spent a lot of time polishing that off to bring back the silver. But I was only able to do the top surface, and it's really given it this sort of brown coat, which is actually the silver, and I think it's added to the bread factor.
Yeah.
And I love this piece because it's talking about commodities and the real world of, these things that we actually need in our life.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You've got the website there. Do you want to run it across the screen at the same time so we can? Okay, no, we don't. Oh, right. So it's just www.adrianward.com.au.
That's correct.
Adrian
You
is
got it, mate.
ADRIANWARD.com.au.
Very good. Very good.
You're pushing me now.
You're doing well, mate. You're doing well. I've got some new pieces at the Foundry at the moment that
Excellent.
we've got some silver dropped off there yesterday. I'm very excited because it's a
Good.
whole new era of artwork, very different from these, and a hell of a lot bigger. So it's going to be a whole new
Having
angle.
picked this up, that actually stresses me a little bit.
Jeez, I know. That's ridiculous.
Is there anywhere people can
People
actually...
think it's bolted to the table. This is
It's
the thing.
not. It just weighs 25 kilos.
That's a great
So
point.
if I wanted to come and see some of your works, other than at Bullion Now, because we've got some here,
Yes.
and we get out of lockdown, is there somewhere I can come and see them?
I can organise a private viewing. We have a location in the city, and people are more than welcome to talk to me, email me, and we can organise a private viewing at the moment, of course. But when things start opening up, more than likely there'll be a few galleries involved, and
Fantastic.
hopefully they've got good security.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
how that's all going to work, actually.
You'd be fairly going to pick this up and run out of anywhere and not have someone mug you in the meantime because they weigh a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you hugely for
No,
coming in,
no, it's
mate.
a pleasure.
And,
Always coming in here. It's fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
I love what you guys do, actually.
Oh, thanks. But we really appreciate you coming in and sharing some of these things that that we display sometimes at Bullion Now and sometimes on YouTube and other stuff that you're hiding away.
Stay tuned because the new pieces I'm very excited about. So
Excellent.
All right, mate.
Thanks,
no
mate.
worries. Great to be here. Great to see you guys.
next time. So that was Adrian Ward, adrianward.com.au. Go there and check out some of his work. And the documentary that he did last year is actually, it's really good. They focus on a particular piece, I think it is. And it's also, Adrian gives a lot of background to his life. So it's a really good watch if you get a chance. Have a look at it. But don't go and look at it until you finish the live stream. We're going to get Matt in or at all?
Yeah, we will.
Yep, we'll get Matt in pretty soon.
Might do the special first.
We're up to 55 minutes, that's all.
Oh, we're going to do the special first. I was going to do the special at the end.
Up to you.
Well, people are going to have to run away when we do the special.
Okay.
So I reckon we do it towards the end.
All right.
So do you want to drag Matt in now
drag
and
Matt
then
in. Sure.
come back at the end? Yeah.
Sure.
So keep those comments coming. Yuck Futube says that shoe looks fully sick. It does. That actually looks great, and it weighs a ton. $40,000 price tag. I actually think it's valued. I'd have to check. I haven't seen the valuation on this for a while, but it was expensive, whatever it was with the valuation they got through. I'm thinking it was certainly more than 40K from memory. I want a 1/64th scale A9X Tirana Red Silver. Actually, I could probably tee that up for you, that one.
There's one that's just come from Calypso Moon that I wanted you to see.
Can we get you to cast Han Solo style frozen in the carbonate with a pot belly? Is Adrian still there? It sounds like he might have disappeared. I will ask him. We'll see. Great doorstop. This would be, I actually have said that a couple of times. I think this would make a fantastic doorstop. But these, in all seriousness for a moment, that is something that you can do at different times. Storing your wealth in plain sight by having it cast into this and using it as a doorstop. It's an interesting feature, but no one would actually think, wow, that's 25 kilos of silver, I'll nick that. Because it just doesn't look like it. It looks like a statue of an old boot. David Hunter. Thanks, Ruben. My Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. It's killing me. We'll get our text. Okay. So we can do the hand solo. Yes. So Calypso Moon. We can get the Han Solo cast frozen in carbonate with a pot belly.
I think there was comments about you being the Han Solo.
Oh, thank
I think
you.
was the original. No,
So you picked that out from the pot belly, or the...
I think that was the original request. Was you stuck in was you stuck in carbonate?
Oh, great.
Yeah. It's
Alrighty.
Michael, can we get you cast as Han Solo?
Oh dear.
How you going?
How are you, Matt?
Yeah, flat out.
So,
Getting busy. It's
how's
good.
the phones, mate?
Yeah, oh, it's good.
Enjoying the break?
Lots of pleasant punters. It's very good.
I covered for Matt's lunch break yesterday, I think it was,
Yep.
for 30 minutes. Man,
You're a
I was
nervous wreck,
traumatised
yeah.
by the end of it.
That's
I
good.
haven't done phone calls for, like, on the phone lines for, I'd be 12 months, I reckon.
Yeah,
So-
the business has grown since then, I can
Yeah.
assure you.
I was shaking by the time I got off the
Yeah,
phone.
good stuff. At least you know what it's like.
Yeah. So we've had a couple of questions today, Matt, and I'm trying to remember what they are, but we were going to refer back to
Yeah.
you.
There was one talking about the Queen on face value.
Oh, it does, because we're a Commonwealth, all
Yeah.
Commonwealth countries,
Yep.
do they have to have the Queen's head on their coinage? Is that a legal requirement?
I would think so. You'd have to look at like the Currency Act, but I imagine that would be one of the key requirements because it's always been the case.
Yeah.
For all the coins that I can think of.
Well, like I said, there
Yeah.
are a couple of exceptions, but I think they're like the Shield Sovereign doesn't have the Queen's head on it that I'm aware of, does it?
Oh yeah, that's right. So
But I think they're the exceptions to the rule.
yeah, and the shield would be have all sorts of tie-ins
Yeah,
to the.
it'll be
royal
the correct
family.
shield of
Yeah.
the royal family
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. So it would be. All right. Any progress on the?
Hi Matt, look at this. People saying hi to me.
Yeah,
Nice one.
They
There
reckon
you
you're a
go.
legend up there, mate.
Legend. Woo.
There was a
Yes,
comment
I'm feeling the
about
love.
when are we opening any progress on the Sydney store?
I've been copping a bit of that.
Have
I
you?
said I managed to get out of Sydney. Might have to go back and open up another shop.
I lived in Sydney for a couple of years back in the day, and I actually
you
quite
know
liked
that.
the place.
Yeah.
Centre of the universe, mate. We lived out towards Camden at a place called Narellan Vale.
Never heard of it.
Really push it. It was a new suburb then. It's probably an inner suburb these days, but that was 20 odd years ago. We're out there.
cool.
We loved it up there. It was fantastic, particularly Camden and that, because you're kind of on the edge of Sydney, but at that
Yeah.
stage, the edge of the country, so you could move out in and
okay.
out. And
Yep.
a lot of history there. MacArthur's mansion was out there, or big
Really?
house, and all that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
was
he was
great.
an interesting guy. He had a lot of issues with the government. He was a real mover and a shaker of his day. I didn't know much about him until going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, he was good.
Yeah, big in the sheep game, as I understand.
Yeah,
it.
no, big, because all that area, I believe all that area was his kind of sheep station
Yeah,
kind of area.
yep.
And it's
Getting you off topic. What's
way off
what's
topic.
happening here on the stream?
Northern Coins is wondering if there's anything you want him to pick up from the Royal Mint. Apparently he's heading there tomorrow.
Really?
Oh, what
Let's
a
do
list
it.
we dragged together for that one.
Jeez.
little shopping list.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's do a live interview. Go to the Mint and we'll tune in. We'll get an interview going, and you can give me a virtual tour. That'd be unreal.
And Matt's been doing all these interviews lately, so anyone that walks through the door, it's like, do you want to do an interview?
Yeah, I'm always happy to have a chat. I often think that when I'm having a conversation with most people, I find most people interesting. You probably gathered that about me. Every time I'm chatting with someone and they have a bit of a story to tell, I think, oh, this should be filmed. It's always good fun. I feel like pretty much everyone, even people that don't think they're that interesting, I think everyone at some point in time has an interesting story to tell.
Oh, yeah. Some of them are even true.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Look at this guy. Open up a store in Sydney. Yeah, right on.
If you need anybody to work in your UK store, let me know. Oh, the UK store. Yeah, there's a bit of an issue with the UK store. We can't actually open one there because if we open one there, we lose one of our prime employees.
Oh, really? Yeah, but you would gain. Yeah, it would be, a
But
gain
I can't
for
do
the
without
UK.
him over here. I'm really sorry, but the
good luck then.
telecommuting only works to a point. And sorry, Rubes, not happening. You're stuck here.
Yeah.
What gold coins do you have coming up? I don't know. Matt, what gold coins have we got coming up?
That's a good question. I don't know. I usually find out about stuff as we're unboxing them. It's a good system, but it does leave me looking like a goose when people ask me for the inside running, and I say, yeah.
Yeah, we're not
Can't
getting
help
any
ya.
in.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah,
I think
all of a
it's still
sudden.
a little while away, but we have a big one coming up.
Oh, yeah.
No, hang on, sorry, I'm not following.
Yeah,
It's
don't
Friday
worry.
afternoon,
Ruben
I'm
knows what's
struggling.
going on. Yeah, there's some big stuff in the pipes, you might say.
I'm lost.
Don't worry about it then. Yeah, something will be flying into the store.
Alrighty. Man,
Yeah, some
there's a
cool-
reason I don't
Yeah.
get out much anymore.
Yeah, there is some very cool LCS, little coin shop stuff.
I think a bit of
Come-
senility's kicking in already. No, we haven't had the special yet. Don't worry, Scott Burke. But you shouldn't have disappeared just in case. There's quite a bit of support out there for your interviews, mate. I think they've been great. They've been going really well.
I think that's something that's been keeping me pepped up on the phones. Yeah, lots of nice feedback, people that watch the interviews. Because I don't generally, I may have said this before, I don't comment on videos like as a, when I'm on YouTube cruising around, I don't comment or engage with a lot of content. I don't know why, but all the people that do comment, it's a good little booster. It gets me very excited. It's very encouraging. So if you're on the fence, please comment because I love it.
Yeah.
But hearing the feedback on the phones is really good as well. It's very, very encouraging.
Yeah. And this is from Alex Setter. Any chance of getting Aztecs in any kind? I love a 10 gold coin. Stunning, but I can't find any local suppliers. I don't have any Aztecs and I don't actually have a line on any at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll ask some questions. The short answer is no, but the longer answer might be maybe.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually that's probably a
Everything's just a matter of time, I find.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think of those Woolworths $2 release like the Wiggles and the Olympics?
The Wiggles is the current one, and I'm a little fatigued with them.
With the Wiggles?
Yeah,
or with the coins?
no, the Wiggles are fine. I have no problem with the Wiggles. But yeah, the Woolies $2 coloured coin releases, they hit it pretty hard, and they generally do 2 million of each particular coin. So it's one of those things that commonly comes up as, oh, is this rare? Is this going to be worth heaps in the future? And the answer is generally for the short term, not really. But some of them, like Mr. Squiggle, over time has become a bit more of a collector's item. So it's entirely possible. I think the Wiggles does cover possibly a wider demographic than the Mr. Squiggle, because the Wiggles have their 30-year history and are still going now. So you're going to have the up-and-coming collecting generation that look to something like that. So in that sense, they probably will be collectible in time, but right now they're not setting the world on fire just yet.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the Wiggles will never, these are famous last words, will never be something like Mr. Squiggle, because Mr. Squiggle, it's so niche that a lot of people will not chuck them away so much as like not really be interested. Oh yeah, I've seen that, don't worry about it. But in years to come, there won't be a lot of them around in good condition, so they'll be pretty highly pursued.
Yeah.
Whereas the Wiggles, every man and his dog's going to get the Wiggles because of the kids.
And that's the thing, and a lot of them will end up. But I guess in that sense, a lot of them will end up in legitimate collections. You don't get as many people buying them exclusively to flip them.
But I think the Wiggles are. I think if they just focused on the 4 original Wiggles, I think that would be one thing.
That would be, I would have preferred that.
But I think the fact that both the Wiggles and Woolworths in this case,
Yeah.
are really just pushing it for marketing, that's usually where they start losing a lot of the collectors.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, in years to come, you'll often see the sets with they've been chewed on by the, the little ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But all good fun, I think. But I do get a little fatigued sometimes by the Royal Australian Mint. They thrash it hard, but they're a business as well, so
Yeah, at the end of the day,
they're doing their thing. So good on them.
The Midnight Gardener. Will LCS be getting the awesome-looking hourglass from Perth Mint?
Yes, yes, they will. That is a real, yeah. Well, I don't know. What do we say? Watch this space. There may be a video
Monday,
on the horizon. Oh,
Monday
there you go.
there'll be a video
Cool.
on the hourglass. We accidentally shot it as BN instead of LCS. But
Yeah, well, one day we'll figure it out. We're on a screaming great rush on organising the LCS dedicated channel, but it will come in time.
Yeah. All good. Can we pre-order the gold gilded 2-ounce Kookaburra?
I think it's already gone. It's come and gone, hasn't it?
Hasn't.
The
They've
gilded.
arrived here. I'm a little
thought
out of date on my releases. They have released, but I'm pretty sure they have done the release on it.
Yeah, and I think they've already sold.
Yeah, they've sold out. But else, the mintage on it, 500?
Something like it's minuscule.
It was
and they just get
minuscule.
what? Yeah, maybe they were like 1,500. It's
I don't think there was that many. I think it was triple
what?
digits.
Yeah,
I think it was something like.
Well, at any
500,
rate,
600.
they got wiped out.
And again, 90% of those went instantly overseas.
Yeah.
So I know LCS's allocation was, like, to say it was microscopic, I think is exaggerating. I think it was less than that. It was just insanely nothing.
There's a plane question in there for you, Michael, from
Oh.
the Fox.
Just an ordinary one. What's the
Wrong plane.
furthest distance you've flown in your Cessna, and which model is it? I've been looking into getting my license. Oh, good grief. I actually own a Piper, not a Cessna at the moment. So I've got a little Piper 140, which is an old plane. It's 53 or 54 years old.
Really?
So Matt still hasn't seen it, so he's got to come
Yeah.
up in it one day.
It's going to be a real live stream. Be a jet stream.
That's terrible. That one's not aerobatic, so I can't turn
I'm
the
sure you
upside
can
down
pull.
in that one.
I'm sure you can pull off some stunts. Put our goggles on.
Yeah. Look, I've flown Cessnas all over the place. I used to do a lot of training, and to build up hours with guys, or with students, we used to take them out bush. So I've flown pretty much around Australia. I couldn't tell you how many times in them. A lot of fun. I can only encourage you to get your pilot's license. You won't regret it. It's a lot of fun. And in a lot of ways, it's easier than driving a car because there's no roundabouts, there's no stop signs, there's none of that sort of stuff. There's only ever about 400 aircraft in the air at any one time in Australia. So you've got heaps of space to fly and do whatever you like. I find the biggest problem with people getting their licenses, though, is what do I do after I've got the license? You've got to have a reason to fly moving forward. And whether that be taking mates up, buying yourself a little plane, and particularly these days with the recreational license, it's comparatively cheap.
Okay.
Well, even my plane. My plane's a 4-seater, and it runs on what we call MOGAS, or car fuel. So it's cheap to run, considering you're doing 200 odd k's an hour in a straight line. You can get places. It's great fun. Have you flown to Cessnock? Many times I have flown to Cessnock. One of our training flights for students was out to Cessnock when I was in Sydney. So that was actually why I was living out towards Camden, because I worked out of Camden Airport.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very cool.
What else have we got on there, mate?
Oh, questions galore.
There's talk about if there was a virtual, World Money Fair, essentially, a virtual expedition for that, and if we had any part in it, if for next one, if we're going to be involved, anything like that.
No,
they saw our old video on it, and they thought it was cool.
Yeah, the World Money Fair 2021 was done virtually. 2022, they're still telling us that it's actually going to be a live event. And that's hard to believe in Victoria, but Germany seems to be opening up. So it's going to be a live event at this stage. I don't think I'm going to be able to go, and it's purely because of the regulations around it, whether we're allowed to travel internationally. My dear wife, who apparently is watching this, would shoot me if I left the country and couldn't get back in again, because we've played that stunt before.
I think we all would, actually. It wouldn't be good for business.
I don't know. We're talking about the overseas branches of BN. We could settle that while we're stuck over there. So look, I don't know what's happening in 2022. Whether we'll have a presence there or not. If I can, I will, or the company will. Whether it's me or maybe we'll send Matt over instead.
Yeah, I'll shove a GoPro to my head. That'd be nuts.
Believe it or not, we actually have footage of the 2020 World Money Fair that hasn't been released yet. And Ruben?
Whenever I get a spare second,
That's right. Any day now.
Honestly, looking back at that footage looks so weird because it was,
We're not wearing masks.
Yeah.
We're not socially distanced.
It feels so weird to look back at. But yeah, no, look, I do still plan to put that up at some point, so we might have to do that in replacement of
the 2022, that's right. So I'd love to say yes, but it's a definite probably not. For 2022. 2023, with any luck, absolutely, if the world calms down, we'll be there.
Yeah.
With bells on. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean.
Matt, what's your favourite Perth Mint animal?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm guessing just standard, silver releases. Or
Yeah.
something like that,
Of the standard stuff, it would be the kookaburra. I think that's... and I think it's probably
Not this year's.
Yeah, well, this year's... I like this year's.
Sorry, 2022's.
Yeah. And I like next year's as well.
No.
But I think the 20
This year's I like. It's 2022's I'm struggling with.
Yeah, all right.
Just don't
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
We're back at the bird bath again.
Get a grip. Back to answering the question. You've had your moment. I think it's largely due to the 2020 release, which I keep coming back to as being just a slam dunk in terms of Bullion releases. I thought that design was great, and having a really tasteful tribute to the original 1990 design. So for that, I can't go past the kookaburra. I think that's just the best. What about you, Michael?
I don't have a favourite animal. I have favourite coin designs of animals. So I love the 2020 kookaburra. I think is stunning.
Yeah.
It's going to sound terrible. I can't remember which koala, but one of the koalas I just think is a great design. I can't remember which year it is now. Last year's wedge-tail eagle I thought was fantastic. So it's more along those sort of things where I go. I'm on the fence with this year's the 2021 wedge-tail eagle. Mm-hmm. I thought some parts of it were good, and in fact some sizes of it are better than other sizes.
Yeah,
for presentation.
absolutely.
So. The quokka, I liked this year's quokka more than I liked the previous year's quokka. So, it's kind of on a coin-by-coin design basis rather than a particular animal.
Yep.
For me. We probably need to do the special and start wrapping up.
Yeah, no worries. All right, I'll jog on. It's been a pleasure.
You want to join in as well? No, okay.
It's all pretty casual here. It's very much Friday afternoon at BN.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to need a little bit of help with this special because we're trialling a new system on our new system. So we've had some issues with some of the emails going walkabout, whether they end up in spam or whether they don't arrive and those types of things. So we're trying to minimise it by introducing a form, I believe. DJ, do you want to give us a burst on it? No, he's looking at me like I'm smoking something.
What's going on? What are we doing?
How do you apply for how do you find the link for today's special?
We're putting it in the comment section.
Oh, there you go.
It's in the comments.
So they're putting it in the comments section.
Not yet.
We better tell people what it is. So we're going to do a spot special on silver today.
Yeah.
So it is the 2021, no, it might be a 2020 Elton John coin.
Yep.
So if I'd been really, really organised, I would have had Ruben flash up a picture of it, but I wasn't that organised. So you'll have to Google the picture if you want to look at a picture of it. But we're actually releasing 100 only of the Elton John 1 ounce silver coins at spot, and it'll be one per person. Now to qualify for it, you need to click on the link which Ruben's going to slide, or Ruben or DJ.
I'm waiting to I can put it through now. If you want.
So they're going to slide up in a moment.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, there you go.
There it
so
is.
the link's gone live, so you'll see our viewing goes as everyone clicks on that link and disappears off to the side. fill in that form, and you will be sent a link, I believe, to the special on our website of the 1 ounce Elton John silver coin. Now you need to fill in the form fairly quickly, but once you've got the response, you don't have to immediately go to the website and buy it. You'll have a couple of days before we'll make that link inactive.
Can you add it to storage? How does
Absolutely,
it
you can.
Cool,
Because it's only one coin. We're not going to make you pay $17.50 postage on one coin. So it's the first 100 forms that arrive.
Yep.
It's one per person, so don't fill in the form 15 times and send it in, because we'll take out at least 14 of those, but probably all 15 of them if you do that one. But yeah, fill in
one
the form.
Person,
one per
Oscar.
person.
Yep.
And then away you go. Happy with that? So how much did our viewing drop off in that 3 minute
It should just
burst?
open a new tab, so it should be all right.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this one goes. Invariably, I'll have to apologise for it on next week's video, because we'll have dropped the ball on something for it.
It works fine.
It works fine. Oh, they assure me it's
perfect.
working fine. So
Good
we
stuff.
should only have 100. If you're the 101st person or thereon, I apologise. But yeah, get into it straight away.
Halfway.
So sounds
Halfway
like we've already
already.
got 50
Yeah,
forms.
it didn't take long.
So
Silver at spot. I mean, what are you?
yeah,
Yeah.
well that's it. It's a silver coin at spot.
And
Not only that,
international.
it's an international one at spot. So how can you go wrong?
Yeah.
In actual fact, what we should do is, and I'm throwing this out there, and Merrin's going to kill me, but I'm wondering if we actually go to 200 and we'll do. No, I can't, because what I was going to say is we could do the bonds, but we might do them another time at spot.
Yeah, do
100.
it another time. You can't,
The double special.
reveal, your entire hand. Although you've certainly alluded to it, so people are gonna be-
Alluded, but there ain't much left to show.
Yeah, if we do
Wait a couple of weeks now that they know that's up our hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right. So, but again,
no,
it'll have to be.
we'll all have to put a tux on for a bit of a Bond special.
Oh, yeah, we can do
Yeah.
a Bond special.
We gotta do a cook costume first. We can't keep promising. All
Yeah, you
these
haven't even
costumes.
done the kookaburra
Well,
yet.
tux I can get a lot easier than a kookaburra costume. We'll all be
Kookaburra and a
martinis.
Yeah,
all
that'd be
around.
nice.
Alrighty, so good way to. Okay, I want to address this one straight away. Good way to get rid of an annoying coin. Actually, they're not annoying coins. I know there's a bit of pushback on this. People have said, "Oh, you've always had them." We have a large amount of them because we have to hedge, and we like to hedge physically. We don't use paper hedging. I can't say we've never used it. It's incredibly rare we've ever done a paper hedge. So we always like physical hedges. So if I need to hedge 10,000 ounces, which isn't unusual, and somebody says, "Oh, look, we've got, X coin," we'll go, "Beauty, we'll take it." They're not going to sell out in 30 minutes when I've just bought 10,000 of them. I don't care what it is. They're not going to sell out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So they take some time to go, but we're not in a hurry to dump them. We're not in a hurry to get rid of them. They are absolutely important part of our hedge. So, it's it's not like we're trying to dump them or anything along those sort of lines. And I didn't read it exactly, but somebody made a comment on eBay. If you flip it onto eBay. Okay. Yeah, but even if you flip that straight onto eBay, you'd absolutely make a profit on it. If you're worried about the fact that we're giving them away at spot, don't buy one. What else have we got there? Just picked up a couple of 2-ounce Australian nuggets. Well done. That was from Silver UFO. Great Bond idea, Matt. So they're
There
liking
you
your
go.
idea.
It's got to happen.
I think they just want to see us in tux sipping martinis. But
It'd
anyway.
be nice.
Fill in the form 14 times, just under the 15 limit. Yeah, good on you, Fox. Did the Elton coin increase in sales after the new release with?
Dua Lipa. Yeah, she's great. She's
All right,
good.
I'm showing
good,
my age and ignorance here.
Yeah, you get with it. Yeah, Dua Lipa. She's quite good. I don't even think I've heard the song though. I'm sure it's a banger, but yeah. No, I don't think the sales did increase as a result of that release. But
Yeah, you'll find because it's part of a series, it'll flow and ebb.
yeah, yep.
But you'll find once the series is complete and people are going back to fill it, the price will actually start to really drive up at that point.
Says we're 80% done.
Okay, so we're about 80% done, so we'll probably start drawing it up from there. Are there any fish design coins from an Aussie mint? There is not, but I have someone who has suggested a barramundi coin.
Wow.
And so we're actually exploring that one. I've been exploring that one for, it's got to be 12 months, but I reckon it's longer.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to do that one if we can, if we can get the barra coin. Somebody's probably now going to poach it and it'll be released next week. That's okay, I don't mind. I'd just like to see it out there. So that's, as far as I'm aware, there's no bullion coins of fish that I can think of.
Bullion coins. Surely they would have to exist. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Not
I
from
know
Australia.
The Perth Mint have done a Great Barrier Reef series, which had all sorts of fish in it. But
did.
that was
Fish is
they
a
were
background,
they were
but-
proof coins.
Yeah, but I don't think they've ever done a fish series of bullion coins. I know Ram's done the fish series.
Yeah.
They did a barrier reef one and
Yeah, someone just mentioned the shark coin that they recently did as well.
Yeah, the great white shark.
Yeah, the
But
great white
it's still a
shark.
stretch, yeah.
It's a stretch.
It's a big fish.
There's the dolphin coin. Yeah, that's true.
Also Ram though.
Yeah, also a Ram.
15 spots left.
So David Hunter, if you've sent it in, you'll get it because there's 15 spots left.
Unless there's a lag.
Oh, now they're telling me unless it's a lag.
Unless there's not.
Sorry, mate. Unless it's not. Techies who deal with them, I'm telling you. Will there be any 2015 pandas in soon? I can't imagine why there would be. We did have 2015 pandas.
That was the one we had the sheets of.
The
right?
sheets of. I've probably still got a couple of those kicking around. A couple of sheets.
But who knows? Yeah, who knows? Couldn't say for
If
sure.
you're desperate for one, Oscar, call in 1300 84 84 10. I'll leave a message with Sylvia and I'll see if I've got a sheet or two left. There you go. I just lit up the phone
Thanks
calls
that,
for
yeah.
you, mate.
Yeah, I should probably go jump back on the phone.
All right, we're going to draw it to a close there yet again. Thank you very, very much for tuning in for another week. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to Adrian for dropping by and showing off all his technical expertise. Let us know if you'd like us to introduce more special guests in at different times and we'll give it another crack. You want to throw in anything there, mate?
Nothing. Emma, you're doing a great job with the TikTok, and you should appreciate a little shout out. Sylvia, doing a great job as well. Love your work.
Yeah, there's probably stuff I should apologise for, Emma, so I'm really sorry about that. But I can't see the whiteboard and you didn't send me a photo of the list of apologies that you'd racked up there for me. So whatever's on there, I'm really sorry for, except for the Bulldogs comments. I actually meant those ones.
Just put the link once more.
Just put the link up once more. There must be a couple left if they're putting the form back up. Yep. Tuning in again next Friday, which will be Friday the 22nd at 2:30. We'll give it another crack, see if we can run another live stream. I'm not going to go into why. You can join the dots, but we might be slightly short-staffed from today onwards. So we'll stand by on that one. So 2:30 Australian summertime, Eastern summertime or daylight savings time on the 22nd of October will be our next live stream. Stand by tomorrow. There's a great new coin coming out. I'm thinking what it is, but I can't remember, so it probably doesn't matter.
Oh, it's a secret. It's a secret.
There's the big unboxing coming in on Monday from LCS. There's all sorts of proofs and pied fits and all sorts of things in there. Some of them are stunning. There'll be the usual stuff next week. We'll get back to Michael's mailbox. We didn't shoot one of those this week. There'll be a special next week of some kind, I dare say.
This is the longest wrap-up in history.
1300 84 84 10 if you want to talk to someone. sales@bullionnow.com.au. Let's harass Matt as much as we can on the sales and emails.
Thank you very
if
much.
you're doing a click and collect, level 6, 227 Collins Street in Melbourne. That's it from me.
And from me, thank you very much.
See you next time, everyone.
See ya.